Oh, okay. So I worded the sign like this because I believe most people already are vegan at heart, as per animal abuse. And thanks for stopping by. My name's Jimmy, by the way. So animal abuse is inherent to commodification of animals, and like you're never going to have a situation where there's not abuse behind closed doors for any period of nanoseconds during any particular period of time. When something is a commodification, when something is a number or a monetary figure, all care and love goes out the window.
What about like domestic?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as like having a pet, that's a different story. I'm talking about eating meat, cheese, milk, and eggs, and supporting up and shoring up industries of just violence. Nowadays, it's just violence, and there's no nice way to kill anybody. And I word it like this because I believe everybody, in their hearts, they already are. It's just a matter of aligning action with who you are and not supporting it with the dollar. Because the supporting it with the dollar part is where the action comes in, and that shows where you really believe while your heart might be somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? Are you? So you're not vegan yourself, and thanks for coming up to me, by the way. I appreciate it.
I do agree with you on a lot of topics or
Yeah.
approaches to
In 2024, every single vitamin and nutrient you can get from a plant-based diet, every single one of them. So B12.
But it's expensive.
There's a lot of studies that have been done, and a lot of them that have surfaced as per recently. I can't quote any right now because I don't have my phone at access, but they're showing that, if you were to do like the mock meat thing or the, some of the more advanced plant-based products, it can be expensive. But if you just eat beans and rice and lentils and tempeh, and these are the cheapest foods on the planet. And even people in third world countries, that's the bulk of their diet. Totally possible in 2024.
Meat's expensive in those countries.
Meat's expensive, yeah.
And there is value to it.
Well, in most third world countries, crops are grown to feed animals. And those crops people don't even eat. They go to the animals, and then the animals go to a first world country like us, and those people don't even eat. It's kind of a, something you don't hear about too often, because most crops go to animals. 50% of the land mass is for animal agriculture, as far as biomass and the land that we have on our planet. And that implies that we're growing all these crops not to feed people, but to fatten up animals, which via energy conversion ratios will yield much less than if you're just eating the plants directly.
What made you come out with the sign?
Well, the reason I'm doing this, and I have a bunch of friends, we kind of do this in different areas, is because nobody talks about this. And you never hear about it on TV. You'll never hear these kinds of conversations like me and you were having right now, kind of propped up on, whatever, network television or commercials, because all that's owned by corporatists and elitists and big conglomerates and big companies, and they don't want these conversations started. Because anything that disparages, food and money and their capital, their revenue, they want shunned. So we're basically leveraging social media, proliferating awareness by just conversations like this, which hopefully make people think a little bit. Because my parents and their parents were all lied to by industry, and it gets to a point to where a lot of people are waking up and noticing that when you pay for something that's inherently violent, you're shoring up and strengthening violent systems, and that's energy. And it's energy that you're putting forth into the world with the dollar. And the dollar is the ballot. It's what you vote with when you go to the POS system or the ballot box. I like to call it the ballot box because you're voting each time that you buy meat, cheese, milk, or egg.
What's your stance on hunting?
I'm not a fan. I mean, but there's no reason to do it. I mean, in Inuit tribes and in maybe different areas of the world where they have to, I think that's justified. You have to live. But here in the U.S., nobody has to do that to survive. There might be like a granular sub 1% in some rural area in Wyoming there might be an exception there, but I think it's more cruel. I think it's sociopathic to literally take the life of a poor baby animal or whoever it is that just wants to live a nice little life and have a family.
Their life is violent anyways.
Well,
they're going to be eaten by something.
Well, there's a lot of things that happen in nature that are violent. Animals get raped in nature. They eat their young. Like, nature should not be our reference to what we do with our moral agency and our intelligence.
Do you think we're outside of that?
Yes, 100%. We have absolute choice now in 2024. We might not have been like 100 years ago, but now we have absolute agency. We have the ability to exact compassion instead of violence, and it's a choice you have every single time that you go to the store and you check out. We're 100% outside of that, all effectively speaking, as per our technology and how much more advanced we are. We have stewardship over these little guys. They're helpless, they're defenseless, and we can either kill them or we can protect them. So it's a choice you make every day.
What about this is outside of veganism, but like population control?
Or as far as hunting? Yeah, there's been a lot of, I know a lot of hunters love to mention population control. They love it. There's a lot of counter studies to what they lament via population control, totally debunking that idea. When there's bias involved, and people will come up with anything to make themselves feel better about doing the wrong thing. It's just one of those things to where, your heart will tell you. I think one time one of my friends, a long time ago, he went out and he went hunting something, and I was really young, and I can't remember what it was. I was kind of peripheral on the side, and I remember feeling like this in my heart, this sense of just good. Just not good. Like, if you saw a little baby animal or a deer, are you a hunter yourself, or? Gotcha. How do you feel when you do it?
In that moment, I knew where all parts of that deer were going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, honestly,
you use
it taught me a lot about life, and I think I placed a higher value on life because I saw.
Yeah, but what do you think? From the victim's point of view, how do you think they felt?
The deer?
Yeah.
They were unaware.
They were. Yeah.
They were going to be eaten by something.
Do you think if, say, I was to create this little scenario, if, say, I or anybody was unaware and they were just instantly unalived, do you think that's morally okay?
No, there's inherent value in life.
Yes.
There has to be a reason.
Yes, exactly.
There was a reason for
exactly.
that.
But did you need it to survive? Could you have gone to the store?
But then I would be supporting big industry.
Well, what are you voting for within big industry? Like,
I would be supporting the mass feeding and farming.
Supply and demand. Are you familiar with supply and demand?
Yes.
Like, say you go to McDonald's, and I go to McDonald's and I support McDonald's, but I buy the McPlant, the Beyond Burger. I'm voting for that Beyond Burger. So each time I go in there, it's via the supply and demand mechanism of outcome, and more people buy that, then we are boycotting the channels and the funnels of violence that kind of fester from these big corporations and tilting their model. And the goal is to boycott violence.
So if I choose not to spend my money at McDonald's, period, because I know that all of their revenue is most likely going towards mass farming.
No, it's going to go towards what's selling.
What's selling? Okay.
Yeah.
I remove my dollar from that market.
Yeah.
And instead I go hunt a deer, and that feeds my family for the winter.
Do you need to do either of them?
I would argue that the meat from that deer, I think that would be a better.
It'd be maybe better, but it's a better way. But
plant-based foods, and then I would have a rounded diet.
Yeah, I'd say it's a better way of doing the wrong thing. That's what I would say. And I can tell you really care. And thank you for coming up to me, because not many people have come up to me. I really appreciate it. And I like to get conversations. I try to capture the conversations. The reason I'm out here is I don't know, nobody else is talking about this. So these dialogues are very healthy. And you may think after this dialogue for a little bit, you're steeped with our conversation. And I appreciate your candor and your honesty. But it all comes back to necessity, right? Like, if we don't need to, so we're doing it for our taste, pleasure, or our satiety. We're doing it for reasons that aren't really justifiable. If it's survival, 100% justifiable, 100%. But if it's not survival, then it's definitely not justifiable. It is literally taking somebody's life, like, that just doesn't want to. They don't want to die. They're sentient. Are you familiar with the term sentient? Cool. So they have a CNS. They can feel pain. They have emotions. They have familial type thing. And I ate meat for 30 years. I'm 41 now. I ate meat for 30 years, and I was always thought I'm a great person. I'm moral. I have ethos, and it's the veil is on thick. The blinders are on thick. And industry has got us all indoctrinated in the train. They got my parents, their parents, and it's a blessing that we have avenues like this to where people will change. I myself watched it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please continue.
I myself watched a speech, and if you can remember this, it's a speech called The Greatest Speech You'll Ever Hear, and it's by a guy named Gary Yourofsky. And he was an animal rights activist for a number of years. He did different lectures at different universities. And his biggest speech is at Georgia Tech, where he talks to a classroom of kids. And I watched that speech. It's about 45 minutes long the first time. And after the first time, I just turned it off, because this guy thinks he's righteous, thinks he's better, thinks he knows more, blah, blah, blah. I'm done. But something, right on. But something told me to watch it again. And I'll tell you, right after I watched it again, I said, that's it. If you get a chance, you gotta watch this speech, because it is illuminating. I'm kind of new at this. I'm not that great yet, but this is something that, vegan is the baseline, it's a new baseline. And the next step is outreach and trying to talk to nice people and get them to think, about where the dollar goes when you pay.
What does that shift look like in society, in your eyes?
In society, the skies will get bluer, the grass will get greener, people will get nicer.
What about the farms?
We could repurpose those farms. The livestock, it's not going to happen overnight. It'll be it'll be a gradual thing, but it's definitely not going to happen overnight. And as we go forward and as things stage, we'll find sanctuaries for certain livestock. Hopefully, we'll do the best we can. Veganism is not about being perfect. Like, I know when I buy crops and when I buy plants, I know a certain amount of insects. I know a certain amount of bykill are being killed for me paying that dollar to buy my plant-based food. Veganism is about reducing the harm. It's about reducing it to as much as practically possible. So you kind of remove yourself as much as you can from the violence. And as we move forward towards a more vegan world, there'll be more stewardship over crops. There'll be more cognizance of these bykill and things like that. But we're not there yet, and this is something that's going to take time. But I see it being, I hope it happens, and I'm pretty sure it will, because the arc of history is on our side as far as certain advances in thought, intelligence, society.
Are you with a particular organization?
No, just myself. If you want to look me up, say again?
Where's the video going?
So if you want to look me up, if you put in James Durkin on YouTube, you can put in James, it's D-U-R-C-A-N, so James, my first name, I go by Jimmy though, D-U-R-C-A-N, and then you could put vegan, it'll probably definitely pop up. I was just talking to some people and they found it just now. And yeah, I just post videos with great conversations like this, and with people like you that have the will to come up and have a little conversation. I really appreciate it.
I feel like spaces like this are hard to come by, unfortunately.
Absolutely, they are very hard to come by, but more and more of us are going to be popping up and coming out. And I've been vegan for a long time, and you get a fire in your belly, and you want to share, and by industry. No one, you know, as far as the people that have all the influence and channel outreach, they will never start a conversation like this. So it's, you know, it is pretty beautiful.
I admire your passion.
Ah,
Maybe I'll be out here with you someday.
that'd be amazing. Check out my channel for sure. You guys have a great day.